Ernie here with Your Home Solar. You know, we work very hard to make sure that our customers are educated in their solar investment. As part of that goal, we've decided to create a series of videos just really focusing on commonly asked questions that we hear. For our next question, and we get asked this all the time, is what are the differences in battery technology today? With battery technology, we're basically going to go over three things in this video. One of those is different chemistries of batteries. The second one is stackable versus wall-mounted batteries. And then the third one is AC versus DC coupled batteries. So jump into that first one, your chemistries. So the most common chemistries that you see in batteries, your really old tech is your lead acid batteries. You know, this is what you think of as like a boat battery or a car battery, things of that nature. That's your lead acid batteries. You get about 500 cycles out of a lead acid battery, which is how many times it can charge and discharge before it dies. And then your second one is lithium ion and lithium iron phosphate. So you get about 5,000 cycles out of both of these two. So you can see the obvious advantages really quickly with the old tech lead acid battery versus the new tech lithium ion or lithium iron phosphate batteries. So most of your modern batteries today are really going to be your either lithium ion or lithium iron phosphate. And the acronyms that you'll see for those are Li-ion, I-O-N, or LFP for lithium iron phosphate. So with that being said, then we're going to look at what are the differences between lithium ion and lithium iron phosphate. You know, the advantages of the lithium ion is that generally the lithium ions can be smaller for higher levels of storage. So that means that you can get more storage in a smaller space. The advantages of the lithium iron phosphate is that they generally have a longer lifespan. That you can get more cycles out of them per cell or per battery. They tend to have a more stable chemistry, which means they can handle high and low temperatures better. We hear all kinds of stuff about lithium ion and safety and things of that nature and car crashes and stuff like that. So with the lithium iron phosphate, they have a much more stable chemistry. There really isn't any risk of any of that stuff with them. We offer both systems. Our Solar Edge system offers a lithium ion battery, whereas our home grid battery is lithium iron phosphate, and we'll go into some other differences with that as well. But both are good batteries. There's just pluses and minuses on both. The next section that we're going to talk about is stackable batteries versus wall-mounted batteries. And once again, we offer both of these. So a stackable battery is generally floor-mounted, and it is going to be smaller cells that are either in the same cabinet together or they're actually stacked one on top of the next. The advantages of a stackable cellular battery system is that one, it tends to be cheaper to maintain. And what I mean by that is kind of end of life maintenance. As it gets toward its end of lifespan, you're not going to have the whole battery go bad at once. You would have one cell, go bad. And those cells are usually somewhere between 3 and 4.8 kilowatt hour cells. So it's a much more affordable replacement, kind of one at a time versus having to replace a whole 10 or 20 kilowatt hour battery. Second, a big advantage is that they tend to be easier to upgrade over time as well. So what I mean by that is you can buy a smaller battery to start with, and then as you see what your battery needs are you sending a lot to the grid that you would prefer to keep? Things of that nature. Do you need more storage at night or outages? Things of that nature. You can kind of add those smaller cells in over time and upgrade that, and it's a very quick upgrade with them. So they tend to be a little easier to upgrade. Now, what are the advantages of the wall mount systems? With a wall mount system, they're generally up on the wall. So the big advantage of this is that it isn't going to take up your floor space. So that it takes up less space. It's a little bit more out of sight, out of mind, and they can be mounted inside or outside. They're very easy to put on an inside wall or an outside wall. That's our stackable versus wall mounted with our pros and cons. And then we'll kind of go to the next one here. And it's the one that we get asked a lot. We constantly hear, people who have done internet searches and things of this nature. And is what is the difference between an AC coupled battery and a DC coupled battery? AC coupled batteries, we don't offer them. Really the only advantage that an AC coupled battery has is that it is easier to add to a pre-existing system. And that's really its only advantage. The downsides to it is that it is much less efficient. There's two different types of electricity for the most part. There's direct current and there's alternating current. A solar panel creates power in direct current. A battery stores power in direct current. A house uses power in alternating current. So in order for power to come from your solar panels or your battery, it has to be converted or inverted, from DC to AC power. Now, in a DC coupled system, it's exactly that. The battery is actually connected directly on the same side of the inverter as the panels. So power goes directly from your solar panels to your battery. And then it only gets converted that one time when it needs to be used by your house. Every time you go through an inversion, you lose power. You lose a little bit of efficiency. So in that DC coupled system, you only have one inversion. In a AC coupled system, however, the battery is actually connected on the alternating current side of the inverter. So the power has to be converted not one, not two, but 3 times by the time that you actually get to use it at your house from the battery. So this is a huge reduction in efficiency in a system. A whole part of a solar system is to create your own power and operate off of your own kind of home grid. And with that, with these AC coupled systems and those losses, that's a big deal that you're losing electricity every time you pull from your battery. A DC coupled system is much more efficient. One of the things that we get asked all the time, because when they first came out and the DC batteries first came out, this was one of the disadvantages they have, but it's been rectified with the modern ones, is can a DC battery still charge from the grid the way an AC coupled battery can? And the answer is yes. Modern DC coupled batteries can still charge from the grid. So there goes that advantage for the AC batteries. And then they can still be installed with existing solar systems. You just have to add in another inverter there if you want to install them with existing solar systems that have been on the home for a matter of time. Just to recap, we've now gone over the chemistry of batteries, lead acid versus lithium ion versus lithium iron phosphate. We have gone over the difference between a stackable and a wall-mounted battery, and we've gone over the difference between a AC coupled versus a DC coupled battery. So I know we covered a lot in this one, but I hope it helped. Thanks for taking the time to tune in. We hope this video has helped you in better understanding your solar investment. And as always, we here at Your Home Solar wish you many sunny days.